respected and doyens of the profession and galaxy of past presidents of ICAI, CA Sunil Talati, CAG Ramaswamy, CA Manoj Fadnis, and former Central Council member of ICAI, CA Santhana Krishnan sir, Secretary of SIRC Panelist, the participants of this evening program. Very good evening to all of you. It is yet another delightful evening for me to be in touch with my professional fraternity for yet another impressive and informative program of SIRC. I have the immense privilege to extend a very warm welcome to each one of you for this evening event. We have the gracious presence of 4 of our members of excellence today amongst us: CA Sunil Talati sir, CA G Ramaswamy sir, CA Manoj Fadnis sir, CA Santhana Krishnan sir. They have during their stint in the Central Council set an impressive record of sorts and have been part of numerous and remarkable initiatives by ICAI with their par excellence performance in whatever positions they were during their presence in the Central Council. They continue to guide our profession, giving successive men at the helm of affairs their wise counsel for the overall development of our profession. It is therefore a great opportunity for SIRC and its members to have their presence in one single forum, all 4 of them, and to speak on the subject which is dear to all of us: future of profession and changing challenges. They have set many benchmarks with an eye on the future of the profession. It is therefore in the fitness of things that they speak on this subject today and share their perspective and the road ahead for our profession in the years ahead. On behalf of SIRC, I deem it my great pleasure to extend our warm and cordial welcome to all the 4 resource persons and thank them for giving an opportunity to SIRC to have very enlightening evening program to its members. This program had attracted a large audience that stands testimony to the interest evinced by the members, the popularity of the resource persons, and the quality of the program. On behalf of SIRC, I offer our warm and hearty welcome to each one of the participants to this excellent program. This discussion will throw on insight of the profession. It was, it is, and predominantly touch upon the future in store for the profession. The discussion by the panelists would also offer the participants to visualize the opportunities and the challenges that may be forthcoming in the days ahead, especially on the subject matter of discussion today. Today's discussion will also give the audience a fair idea of facing such changing challenges and the ways to transform such challenges into professional opportunities. SIRC looks forward to the continued support from our members. Needless to say, we look forward to the guidance and encouragement by the great resource persons of today. With these few words, once again, I feel privileged to extend our warm welcome to all of you, and I must thank CAG Ramaswamy sir for his support and guidance to organize this excellent program. And when I requested him to moderate this program, he readily accepted and shared his views and thoughts for this important program. CAG Ramaswamy sir, hailing from my own place, Coimbatore, a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India with 35 years of standing in professional practice. He started to serve our institute from branch level. He held various positions at branch and chairman of Coimbatore branch during the year 1988 and 89. He has also served as the regional council member of SIRC during the year 1994 to 2000. He was the chairman of SIRC of ICAI for the year 1999 and obtained All India Best Regional Award for the year. He was elected as the Central Council member of ICAI during the year 2004 for the first term. Since then, he has held various positions in committees of the Central Council. Then finally, elected as a president of ICAI for the year 2011 and 12. I can proudly say he is the first president of ICAI from Coimbatore. He was member of National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standards and the Government Accounting Standard Advisory Board for Union and States constituted by C7 AG of India. He is a dynamic speaker with expertise on wide range of subjects encompassing subjects like corporate law, income tax, and professional ethics. He is also an avid golfer and a worldwide traveler. He is an honorary member of the Association of International Accountants UK. He is an honorary member of Certified Public Accountants of Australia. He is a resolution professional member of IBBA. He is an advisory committee chairman of Indian Institute of Insolvency Professionals of ICAI. He is the great motivator and inspiration for many young chartered accountants, particularly for chartered accountants from smaller places. With this, I request Secretary of SIRC, Panaraj, to introduce other panelists of today's program.
I should be cautious. Okay, good evening all, and thank you, Chairman, for setting the tone for the day. And it is my privilege to introduce the three stalwarts. First, I will take Manoj Fadnis, sir. He is immediate past president of the Confederation of Asia and Pacific Accountants, CAPA, a regional international organization of 32 professional institutes from 23 countries from Asia and Pacific region. He was elected as president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the year 2015-16, and earlier he was vice president in 14-15. As president, he was the chairman of all the standing committees, disciplinary committee, and board of discipline of ICAI. Presently, he is independent director on board of Federal Bank, and serves as chairman of audit committee. He is also on the board of other listed and non-listed companies. He was nominated by the State Bank of India as director on board of State Bank of Indore from 2002 to 5. He was also nominated by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India, as director on the board of 2 companies during 2009 and 12. He was the non-executive chairman of MP Stock Exchange Limited from 2012 to 14. He holds diploma in International Information System Audit, DISA. He has qualified in corporate accounting and reporting standards and direct taxes, corporate laws, and foreign exchange management act. He has presented more than 1,000 technical papers in seminars and conferences within India and internationally. With this, I present before you Manoj Fadnis, sir. Now I take the privilege of introducing Sunil Talati, sir. Sunil Talati, sir, has been a chartered accountant and elected the president of the institute for the year 2007-8. He is a MCOM graduate with a law degree, and he graduated from HL College of Commerce. Had held various posts of office bearers, the secretary, treasurer, vice president, etc. In 82, he was elected by securing highest votes in the entire western region of WIRC of the ICAI, and was appointed as vice chairman in the same year. He was appointed as public representative in the governing body of Ahmedabad Stock Exchange by Government of India, Ministry of Finance in 1985 and 86. He was elected as president of Chartered Accountants Association, Ahmedabad for the year 88-89, and also selected as member executive committee of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Ahmedabad for the year 88 and 89. He has also been appointed in the special committee of Coal India Limited for considering valuation of the coal mines. Recently, he has been appointed as an independent director of Gujarat State Financial Services Limited by the government of Gujarat. we have the pleasure in inviting you once again, sir. And I will take the pleasure of now introducing SK, sir. Popularly called SK, sir. Santhana Krishnan, sir, has more than 4 decades of experience in global assurance and consulting. She is specialist in cross-border M&A services with hands-on experience of serving on the Committee of Directorate for overseeing post-acquisition integration of a large limited company in USA, a recognized thought leader of international conferences in Geneva, New York, London, and Sri Lanka. Membership of Board of Directors, Tata Global Beverages Limited, the 8 o'clock Coffee Company, USA, Consolidated Coffee Inc. USA, IDBI Capital Markets and Securities Limited, ICICI Home Finance Limited, EMEI Board of PKF International. And his professional membership extends to the membership of UFI, University of Future India, Global Advisory Board, an organization associated with Standard University, effective December 2020, government nominee to the Central Council, governing body of the ICAI, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He has been has been member of the Central Council, governing body of the Institute of Chartered of India for 15 years, and member of the committee for conducting arbitration courses, accounting standards. Has been member of the Accounting Standards Board for over 10 years and Vice Chairman of the Accounting Standards Board, member National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standards for 3 years, member of the Core Committee of Implementation of IFRS under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and a member of the Technical Committee of MCA to advise Government Accounting Standards 2011-15, Chairman of committees under ICAI, various committees, to name a few, Corporate Laws and Corporate Governance Committee for 6 years and Information Technology Committee. With this brief introduction, I present before you the 3 stalwarts, Manoj Fadnis sir, Sunil Talati sir, and Santhana Krishnan sir, along with G. Ramaswamy sir. Over to you, sir.
Very respected past presidents, CA Sunil Talati ji, the very recent past president from our participation, CA Manoj Fadnis ji, a person with different kinds of version of debatable issues taken up in the council, debated in the council, discussed in the council, within the council and outside of council, very outspoken, a person with the vision to create a greater profession of chartered accountancy in India, who work with all of us as a Central Council member. My good friend, very respected past Central Council member from Chennai, Sri Santhana Krishnan. We call him an SK. SK means sweet and karam in Tamil. Sweet and karam. So he will give all information to everybody. That information, maybe somebody may like it, somebody may not like it, but he will talk from his heart, true to the profession. He will explain to all of us very rightly. And the chairman of the SIRC, Sri Jalapati, and the secretary of the SIRC, Sri Pannaraj. A large number of participants were all joined this evening webinar organized by the SIRC and friends. At the outset, I must thank the respected past presidents when I called them, and Mr. Santhana Krishnan. Immediately, all of them agreed to participate this evening program. It is because of their interest for this profession, involvement in the profession, to create an atmosphere in the minds of the younger chartered accountant to see that our profession can play a very important role in the economy within India as well as outside India. In fact, the father of the networking, I can tell you, Mr. Manoj Fadnis, He has started the concept of networking, debated and discussed, and he has presented very nice manner in the networking concept. Mr. Sunil Talati is very rightfully, he will argue the cases within the council when people are allowed to listen to Mr. Sunil Talati's view about many issues. Likewise, Mr. Santhana Krishnan also is present his bold views in the council. So I, one among the council member, I enjoyed the entire debates. Today we have assembled here about the road ahead for the professionals. Changing challenges not only for us, challenges for everyone in this country, in the world. The pandemic situation is not gone. Still, it is worsened in certain parts of this world. Some of them are scary about this third wave and fourth wave and etc. But because of this pandemic situation, we were able to meet on the webinars on a virtual mode, debate and discuss about the profession and their improvement in our areas. Friends, it's a very knowledgeable team with us. Before I'm going to further about my views on matters, I would like to invite Sri Manoj Fadnis to share his views about all this networking concept, how best a chartered accountancy firm can use the network for the benefit of their growth, as well as bringing a best big accounting firm in India. Over to Sri Manoj Fadnis.
Thank you very much, President Ramaswamy. Very Honorable Past President C.S. Sunil Talati and our very distinguished past council member C.A. Santhana and Krishnan, the respected chairman of SIRC and the secretary of SIRC. Thank you very much for this kind invitation. And I'm delighted and honored to join this panel discussion along with such distinguished personalities, my great old friends with whom I had the privilege of working for a long number of years. So I had the privilege of working under the presidentship of both Talati and Ramaswamy and enjoyed the company of my esteemed senior colleague Santhana and Krishnan for 15 years. And it has been sweet memories of all those number of years when all of us toiled in the council to put into place all these guidelines and the collective discussions which we had, which originated in these guidelines for networking and other such capacity building measures of the institute for a long time ago. So friends, a great pleasure to join this webinar and to share certain thoughts on the subject of networking. Now, networking is not anything new for any one of us, and I'm sure many of the participants may already be part of one or the other networks. So how this networking concept emerged is, if I can take you back to somewhere around 2004, when the council first constituted a group on capacity building measures. So what was thought about is that there are large number of small and medium practicing firms. Now, when we say, friends, small and medium practicing firms, we don't mean small in terms of intellectual capabilities. It is only small and medium in terms of the organizational capabilities as to how many chartered accountants are together. And as in India, world over, the profession is dominated by small and medium practicing firms, that is, firms with either who are proprietary firms or partnership firms with maybe 2 or 3 or few partners who come together and carry on the profession. Of course, we have very large firms, undoubtedly large firms which are networked internationally as well as domestically, and there are firms of different sizes, but predominantly it is the small and medium practicing firms, that is a group of chartered accountants, maybe individually or at the most a group of 5 or 6 chartered accountants coming together and carrying out the professional practice. Now, friends, if you look at the way the profession has emerged and if you look at the kind of opportunities which are available, while there are huge opportunities, one may look at maybe Ind AS, one may look at GST, direct taxes, and forensic audit, and name any field, and we'll find that there are huge opportunities if one is really dedicated in that particular area of practice. Now, what happens is each area is a specialized area. It is not possible for one chartered accountant to be a master in all the subjects. So while some of us may be experts in direct taxes, some may be experts in indirect taxes, some may have specialization in other matters and advisory services, consultancy services, or different fields in which one can practice. Now, for a large firm, it is possible to have, let's say, certain number of partners who are specializing in a particular branch or in a particular discipline. But in a smaller firm, there will be severe constraints. If I, as a proprietor of a firm or as a partner of a small firm, decide to do all GST, direct taxes, corporate laws, and the ever-evolving subjects and opportunities available to us. So what the Institute really thought, and which is in line with the global trend, is to see that how smaller firms can come together, work together, and form a network. So that was the genesis for formation of these initial guidelines for the purposes of networking. And these are meant to have some kind of a credibility to number of firms coming together, and before an external service recipient to show themselves as an organized network of firms which are independent individually, but collectively they form a larger group. So today it is very common for any kind of professional opportunity which comes up is to see the strength of the people who are working behind that. And the strength could be tested in terms of either the number of chartered accountants who are involved, or it could be tested also in terms of the total billing which that firm has, or some such parameters are which are very common. In light of that, a smaller firm would always be put at a disadvantage, because if it is a firm of say 2 or 3 chartered accountants and each is making a handsome amount of professional billing, but the total billing would be less as compared to another firm which has say 30 chartered accountants or 40 chartered accountants or even a larger number of chartered accountants. So therefore, the idea is that all smaller firms could come together and constitute themselves as part of a network. So that is what is really the driving force for these opportunities which are there in terms of networking with different firms in different locations. So it gives 2 advantages. One is it gives me an opportunity to be networked with say Mr. G. Ramaswamy in Coimbatore, and if my client wants certain services to be done at Coimbatore, I could always contact Mr. Ramaswamy and request him to, if we are part of the same network, to request him to carry out that professional services in Coimbatore. Second, so first advantage is multi-locational services, and second advantage, friends, is of course the multidisciplinary services. So say one firm which is good in direct taxes and another firm which is good in indirect taxes can come together and under the same umbrella provide both the services which the client requires today. So networking is a concept which is enabling different firms while they remain independent legally of each other, but come under a larger umbrella to provide multi-locational and multidisciplinary services. Now, friends, this is how the informal networking has to start with, and one could also call it as a referral practice. So say Ahmedabad Talati ji has some work to be done in Indore, or Indore I have certain say work which is to be done in Ahmedabad. We could always refer work to each other without having a formal arrangement of a network. So friends, some of you may wonder why one should really form a network if such referral practices are also possible. Now, the advantage in a network is that it becomes an association which is duly registered and recognized by the institute. When it has the blessings of the institute, it is a entity in a way which is being recognized by a regulatory body. So if I say that Mr. Ramaswamy is my affiliate in Coimbatore, I could officially describe him as my affiliate in Coimbatore, and I can go and tell my clients that I have an affiliate in Coimbatore who adheres to the same practices as I do in Indore. Or Mr. Santhana and Krishnan is my affiliate, and therefore whatever good practices Mr. Santhana and Krishnan is doing in Chennai are the same audit practices and standards and operating procedures which I follow in another location. And that gives the confidence to the recipient that yes, it is approaching a group of firms which are networked together and which adhere to common standards of working, common audit procedures, common audit documentations, and quality control procedures. So friends, as the organizational setup is required on a larger basis, it becomes necessary that different people who are working at different locations should be following the similar set of quality standards. If we are not following same quality standards, then the service recipient may feel that, oh, the Chennai firm is doing a better work than the firm which is based in another location. And that brings some kind of a disadvantage in terms of how that network is being looked at by the service recipient. So this was the basis on which this networking concept has emerged. Now, friends, many of us, and I'm sure all of us who are in this webinar would be participating in the empanelment process which the Institute so nicely carries out, both with the Reserve Bank of India and the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, so that public sector banks and public sector undertakings, the appointment of the auditors is carried out through this process of empanelment. Now, when that empanelment takes place, this network is not considered as a strength. And this is possibly one of the challenges which many firms may look at, that, oh, if we are networked, why don't we get recognized for the purposes of central statutory auditors or some such public sector work or some larger Maharatna audits, so on and so forth. So there we need to be conscious of the fact that the Reserve Bank of India and the C&AG have their own set of norms for the purposes of empanelment. And there it is not on a basis of a network, but it is on the basis of an individual audit firm. And therefore, while this network may not enable us to get bigger audits in terms of government audits or PSU audits, but the very concept of network is to strengthen the firms so that they can get other audits which are not being allotted through a empanelment process. And therefore, in a larger, because friends, we are in a very competitive world. It's a capital market, private economy, where the efficiency will be rewarded, where competition requires us to render the best of the technical services at the least possible cost. So the recipient wants the best services, and we would always like to have an optimum cost and not the best fees which you and I would like to charge to our clients. But then the important part in such matters is that in terms of advisory services, in terms of consultancy services, where the opportunities are larger, these networks would enable us to carry out those kinds of advisory services or consulting services. Now, when we are part of a network, we also need to be conscious of the fact that there cannot be just all good things and advantages without having certain limitations. So the limitations in the network should be properly recognized, and in terms of those limitations, we need to strategize how we carry out or how we try to take the benefit of these networks. So the limitations which I would suggest we need to be conscious of is, say, the provisions contained in section 144 of the Companies Act. Now, 144 of the Companies Act would say that if you are a statutory auditor, you cannot perform so many other types of services which are typically and globally being called as non-audit services. Now, those provisions would apply not only to that audit firm, but would also extend to the entire membership of that network. So thereby, if one firm is the statutory auditor, another firm in the network cannot take up the internal audit or cannot render the management consultancy services, which are in the nature of non-audit services as per section 144 of the Companies Act. Now, we are as well aware that the new Code of Ethics, the ISBA Code of Ethics 2018, and as adopted by our institute, talks about management responsibilities. And it says that the audit firms should not take up the management responsibilities of an auditee. Now, management responsibilities is prohibited globally, not only for the audit firm, but also for the networked firms. So in terms of the network, none of the management responsibilities can be undertaken. Now, our Companies Act goes a step further, and it says under section 144, it uses the term management services. So under the Code of Ethics, while it could be possible to render management services without undertaking management responsibilities, but insofar as the Companies Act is concerned, it very clearly says that management services cannot be provided to an audited client. So these limitations which apply to an audit firm will automatically get extended to the entire network. So what is really required to be seen is that the network should have a good dialogue between the networked firms. And today, what pandemic has taught us is how best we can leverage the technology. So we don't really have to meet. We are all connected, like we are connected today, sitting thousands of miles away from each other, but we are sharing our thoughts, we are sharing our experiences, and we are benefiting from each other's experiences and knowledge. So what the network will have to do, and this is very important, friends, the firms which are together as a network will have to, in a way, work as one large unit. And if that larger unit is trying to take up, say, a part of a management consultancy services, it should take up in such a way that it does not disturb the other members in that firm, in that network. So if management consultancy services are prohibited to an audit client, there is no point in taking up, if I'm part of, say, Mr. Talati's network, and I know that Mr. Talati is a statutory auditor of a particular company, then it is futile for me to try and take up a management consultancy services of a firm, of a company of which Mr. Talati is an auditor, and if we are part of the same network. But what we can try and do as collectively as part of the network firms is see that how best we can pull in our talent, pull in our research, pull in our knowledge, and give one service to that auditee, which is spread at different places in the country. And that is the advantage which we need to get from the network concept. So understanding the limitations is the best way to strategize how to make the best use of that concept. And therefore, we need to use the network. This concept of network enables us to pull in our resources. So if, say, the requirement is, say, that the firm should have, say, 10 crores of billing, and my firm does not have more than 50 lakhs of billing, but within the network has a collective billing of more than 10 crores of rupees, and that enables the network to participate in a tendering process, which, assuming it is in lines with the institute's tendering guidelines, where we are permitted to participate in a tendering process. We could participate in a process, in a tender bid, and take up a part of a management consulting work in such a way that all the firms in the network stand to benefit. So if it is a large company and which is wanting to have its statutory audit done, then the collective strength of the firms can be used, and one of the firms can be appointed as a statutory auditor, and that lead firm will then tell the audit committee of that company that I have so many affiliates, and all these affiliates will participate in carrying out this audit work at multiple locations. This enables the oddity to save the cost, save the time, and get the same quality of work done across the country or maybe across the globe also. So the networking guidelines originally brought in 2005, then subsequently revised in 2011, and this year we find that they have been very appropriately revised by our Honorable Council so that those guidelines remain in tune with the changing requirements of the society. And I'm sure there is a lot of scope, a lot of opportunities, particularly for small and medium firms, for firms which are not in metros. Like I'm based in Indore and Mr. Ramaswamy is based in Coimbatore, which are recognized as cities smaller to Chennai and Ahmedabad. So firms which are in the non-metros stand to benefit in this today's situation. My cost in Indore is much less than the cost which is being incurred by another firm in, say, Mumbai, or a firm which is being based in Chennai, or a firm based in Ahmedabad. And through the technology, I can render the same services which are being required to be, which are being rendered by a firm in a metro. So in a world where we are talking today about faceless assessment, faceless first appeals, and even virtual tribunal hearings, so that is where the cost and optimization of the cost, at the same time improving our technology, becomes very essential for us to survive in this very competitive world. And I'm sure, friends, if you look at these network guidelines holistically, not just from the limited point of how best I can use it for empanelment, because it will not help us in empanelment with RBI and CNDG, but look at these network guidelines in terms of the value additions which we can do for management consultancy services. I'm sure there's a lot of scope. So we had even the corporate form of practice. Now that corporate form of practice was thought about in those days when we did not have multidisciplinary partnership firms. Today, we have, fortunately, the regulations relating to multidisciplinary partnership firms in place. So as President Ramaswamy ji would recall, during his presidency in 2011, the Chartered Accountants Act Section 2 was amended to provide that a chartered accountant in practice can enter into a partnership with another non-chartered accountant firms. So the Section 2 of the Chartered Accountants Act, which was amended in 2011 during Ramaswamy's tenure, enabled the multidisciplinary partnerships. But that time we had Companies Act 1956, and Companies Act 1956 required that the appointment of a firm as a statutory auditor in a company necessitates all partners to be members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So therefore, a firm which has a non-chartered accountant as a partner, though permitted under the Chartered Accountants Act, could not appoint a multidisciplinary partnership firm. Thereafter, in the Companies Act 2013, as you would see, the requirements under Section 141 now say that the majority of the partners should be the members of the institute, thereby enabling a process whereby a multidisciplinary partnership firm can also be appointed as a auditor under the Companies Act 2013. And our friend Mr. Santhana and Krishnan has done enormous work in bringing out the amendments in the Act which came in 2017 and subsequently, and the rules which have been which are the backbone of our Companies Act, because by and large the Act is through the rules, and these rules have been significantly brought in the concept of ease of doing business. So multidisciplinary partnership, which is now permissible under the Companies Act, and the regulations have been notified under the Chartered Accountants regulations on 1st of July 2021, now enables us to carry out multidisciplinary partnership firms. Now friends, imagine a network which has a number of firms which are also multidisciplinary partnership firms at locations, and how much strength that network could have given these developments which have taken place. So today what is required is to use these opportunities properly, look at these developments properly, and keeping the four corners of the code of ethics in place, we could still leverage our resources and give better services at competitive rates to our clients, not just where we are located, but across the globe, across the globe. That is the power which we as chartered accountants have. So I'll pause here, Ramaswamy ji, and you may carry forward the discussion, and we could still debate on and hear from our other learned participants in the webinar.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj. Has recalled all this networking concept. It is way back, very long back, our past presidents have laid the foundation for this networking concept and recognizing the networking among the chartered accountants. And in fact, I must compliment Mr. Santhana Krishnan because of his contribution in the Companies Act 2013. Nobody can deny, even though he was not in the part of a council member, but he still contributed a lot in the Companies Act, and in such a manner that will be more beneficial for this profession in a right prospective way. And one more thing, and nobody knows that we are all studying about the DISA, Diploma in Information System Audit. In fact, a lot of debates about the CISA, because Mr. Manoj has very rightly has pointed out relating to technology. Adoption of the technology is very important for changing environment. Challenges now today is how to conduct the audits. In the information system audit, I can tell Mr. Santhana Krishnan is the father of the information system audit from our ICAI. First program is organized in Tirupur. He has organized many. He is trained the chartered accountant in Tirupur. Even he has conducted the examinations also. A very silent worker, Mr. Santhana Krishnan. I will hear him later. Before that, I would like to share some points, and then we'll request Mr. Sunil Talati ji later on another 10 minutes time. I request the officer to just open up the PowerPoint presentation of mine, little opening up about my thoughts. Yes. Next. So the best way to predict the future is to create it. That's an Abraham Lincoln's words. Now we have a best way of our future is we have to create our future. ICAI has given you a lot of inputs to the profession. They have created the multidisciplinary partnership firm opportunity, corporate form of an opportunity, LLP, converting yourself into an LLP, opening up of number of chapters outside India, connecting the global accounting profession within ourselves. World Congress 2022 is going to be organized in India first time in International Federation of an Accountants. After choosing many venues, and finally they have decided to host, our ICAI is a host, organizing the World Congress of Accountants in 2022. It's a prestigious program. So the world level, our accounting profession has been fully recognized. We, the chartered accountants, present everywhere in the globe. Next. You are a very powerful, provided you know how powerful you are. That's very important for the chartered accountants. You are a powerful chartered accountant from India, but you don't know what is how powerful you are. So it's a time for you, the chartered accountants, to think that I am a powerful chartered accountant from India. I am going to organize my firms globally. That's very important for us. Next. So let me, when I ask for one of my junior partner, I want to know I'm going to talk about this, our changing challenges in this world for the accounting profession. He just gave me four informations. Sir, that you are going to talk about all the matters relating to our accounting profession in India. You must have seen many accounting firms in India, but what is the global firms? What is their structure? Now the Indian accounting firm can grow with various opportunities that opened up for our accounting profession, and legally and validly you can bring all of them together, make it yourself the big audit firms. There are opportunity now. There's a number of banks. They are appointing the Indian big firms. Private firms are already appointed as Indian big firms as the statutory auditors. And government is also focusing how best your Indian big firms has to globally play a very important role. So I thought I can take these four important firms, big four. I would share with all of you. Many of you are I know that our council colleague and our past presidents are well aware of all these 4 firms, but just for information to others, I want to share. Next. Let me see that how this PwC is located. International Limited, based in London, England, is a coordinating entity for a global network of firms. A multinational professional service network of firms operating as a partnership under PwC brand. Ranks as the 2nd largest professional services network in the world. Operate in 157 countries, 742 locations with 284,000 people. Imagine. As of 2021, PwC is the 4th largest privately owned company in the United States. In January 2017, Oracle and PwC announced their international collaborations to offer accounting software which complied with International Financial Reporting Standard 9. So as of 2020, PwC had 284,258 employees around the world. So this is the direct employees involved in this PwC. Imagine the big 4. Though there are a number of opportunities, they have a different various partners are there, different branded people are involved as a partners, different technical peoples are involved as a partners. How best this can be a model for us to understand how they are all big. Next one. Next, Deloitte. Deloitte Limited is commonly referred as Deloitte is a multinational professional service network with offices over 150 countries and territorial around the world. The firm will come effective from 1st June 2017 and is estimated to have 28,000 partners, people generating over 5 billion euro in annual revenue. Deloitte Northwest Europe will account for approximately 20% of all the revenue within their global network. In 2019, Fortune magazine ranked Deloitte as one of the 100 best companies to work for, and Bloomberg Business has consistently named Deloitte as the best place to launch the career. So imagine this type of a work-related and the brand-related accounting firm in the world. Next. EY, Ernst & Young, a multinational professional service network with headquarters in London, England. EY operates the network members of the firm which are structured as separate legal entities in a partnership which has close about 3 lakh employees, over 700 offices, more than 150 countries. In 2019, EY is 7th largest privately owned organization in the United States. EY has continuously been ranked by the on Fortune magazine list of 100 best companies to work for the last 21 years. In 2018, EY operated $4.5 million professional services and entered into Louis Lee of KY USA. So like that, it has a number of brand for them. They're also, it's not merely a chartered accountant, multidisciplinary partnership are imbibed in this accounting firms. Next one. KPMG International Limited. The name KPMG stands for all this I have mentioned about this, and the Angel Dutch Multinational Professional Services Network. KPMG is a network of 147 countries, and so many things are there in the KPMG. Next. Come to our ICAI statistics, member statistics, because I just explained to you that our big 4 just for the statistical purposes. It has been collected from the various sources in the internet. I have not given an exact figure about their activities and all these things. Just to understand how the accounting firms with multidisciplinary partnership, with multidisciplinary partners, they were able to grow within the globe. And their presence has been felt in more than 100 countries. Come to our Indian accounting firms, our Indian chartered accountants, as on 1/4/2020. There are in the Western region, you can see there's about full-time practitioners, 25,388, part-time 620, not in practice 4,004, and full-time practice there is about fellow members. So like that, if you see that the total number of the full-time practices from the every region comes about 87,000 total put together, and part-time comes about 2,231, not in practice about 14,506 fellow members. Come to these associate members, 57,136 are in the practice, and then 4,772 in not in practice. Put together, not in practice about 1,61,436. See, all these things, what is the statistic says? We have very limited number of chartered accountants in India. So for ourselves present globally, we need to have network internationally. We have to develop our Indian firms in a bigger way. If you want to become a bigger chartered accountancy firm, first you from individual, you have to convert yourself a partnership firm. Partnership, then you convert yourself in LLP. Next one. So why Indian big firms are not growing? Think big, change your structure, technology adoption, recent motivations from the ICAI. First step is towards positive growth, individual to a firm, firm to LLP. Now, different modules are available for Indian accounting firms. One is you convert yourself into a firm, individuals, then you go to LLP, then you convert yourself into a multidisciplinary partnership firm, go for a corporate form of practice, involve more number of different disciplines in your practice side. So naturally, the chartered accountant can play a very important role of bringing a bigger firms. One, the Companies Act is permitting you to have a multidisciplinary partnership within yourself. Corporate form of practice is being permitted by the ICAI. Networking is permitted by the ICAI. The concept of coming together is also approved by and the various methodology, including LLP. So I thought now that one is Mr. Past President Sunil Talati ji has recently has also, I have seen this firm name Talati and Talati LLP. Similarly, I have seen that Mr. Santhana Krishnan's firm PKF Sridhar and Santhanam LLP. That means they all moved from one position to next position. I believe that all of them are going to create a multidisciplinary partnership in future. They are going to be the competitors for the Indian big firm globally with the big firms wherever they are globally available. Mr. Santhana Krishnan, Mr. Talati ji, and I would like to hear from them. First from Mr. Sunil Talati ji about the multidisciplinary partnership firm. How best this LLP can be convert your firm into an LLP? How best it is going to be useful for the partners in practice, as well as how to bring the other disciplines like company secretaries, advocates, maybe the cost accountants into our fold. Over to Mr. Sunil Talati ji for your presentation. Over.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And very good evening to all my dear participants. I can see there are more than 350 chartered accountants listening today's discussion on a road ahead, future of profession. And let me tell you, friends, when I talk of future of profession, I don't mean only a future of chartered accountants. I'm also concerned and conscious about future of our Institute of Chartered Accountants. Therefore, at the outset, you must appreciate that whatever happens to the profession happens firstly and mainly through ICAI. And what is ultimately ICAI? 32 elected members. I'm mentioning this initially because now in December elections are coming, and it is duty of all of us to see that yes, we select best of the chartered accountants who can represent in the Central Council, who in turn can bring our future of profession at a very brightening sphere. That's what is very important. Today also, whatever is our name, whatever is our brand, whatever is the image of our profession is mainly due to the contribution, continuous guidance and feedback that is being given by the Institute. And therefore, it is very important for all of us to see that yes, we all vote in the incoming election and we select the best candidate. Having said that, let me start conveying my deep sense of thanks and gratitude to Chairman, Secretary and members of SIRC for giving this opportunity to share my personal views. And I'm more thrilled because in South India, I've seen largest of the gathering when there were conferences physical. I've attended Bangalore conference when I was president with more than 4,000 chartered accountants participating. So I can see the interest that you all have in South India also with regard to the professional development and growing together as a chartered account. And friends, let me tell you, I'm very conscious about the story about that queen who was living in a palace, and when poor people were shouting for the bread, she was asking her what these poor people are asking, and they say she was told that they don't have bread. And she said, okay, if they don't have bread, let them eat cake. She was not aware of the ground reality. I don't want to tell you something which is not possible, which is too good in hearing, but too difficult in implement. I'm going to talk to you ground reality. And what is ground reality? You may find me not contradicting, but complementing what Manoj Bhai has said and what Ramaswamy has said. Why networking has not been successful, though we are trying at the top of our voice from Institute that please do networking, please do networking. We are giving guidance, we are issuing instructions, we are providing so many other things, including lectures, seminars, and conference. But still, why networking is not happening the way it should have happened? And the fundamental thing is absence of trust. Absence of trust, lack of confidence on others, and absence of thinking grow big, as Ramaswamy mentioned. You must first have confidence in yourself. I am a chartered accountant, I am a member of institute, I am in practice. But as it was mentioned by Manoj Bhai, if you are soul, you can't be master of all. You can be jack of all. But you can't do audit, you can't do GST, you can't do direct tax, you can't do transfer pricing, and you can't do internal and statutory audit. Impossible, not difficult. And therefore, you must think, I want to provide all the services. And it is impossible for me to do as a proprietor, and therefore let me join hands. And that's what the think big starts. You must think big, and then only you can act big. And if you act big, then only you will grow big. Be very clear in this. And therefore, you must start thinking that, yes, I want to develop and grow my practice in a larger concept. And what is that quantum of large practice? If you are a proprietor, let me tell you, based on the statistics I have in Ahmedabad and Gujarat, on an average, proprietors earn between 20 lakhs to 50 lakhs of rupees, even after 10, 15, 20 years of practice. But 50 lakh even is the receipt, 30 to 35 or 40% is the direct expenditure, 20% are overhead. What you save is just 40 or 50% out of that. That is just 25 lakhs. That is 2 lakhs a month. Now a bright new chartered accountant, fresh rank holder gets in the job at the very first day if he becomes a chartered accountant. So do we look at that 50 lakh practice or 1 crore receipt, or we think of growing big by which your receipts go to 10 crore, 20 crore. That's what we should think of. It may find very tough and difficult for many of you to even think that Talati is saying 10 crore and 20 crore. But let me tell you, it is not impossible. It is difficult, but certainly achievable. And how we can do that? When our own Honorable Prime Minister said, as Ramaswamy gave the details of these 4 firms, when our own Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that I want Indian firms to be as big as large firms, the ball is now in our court. That how do I grow big? Why don't a chartered accountant from Chennai start thinking, or Bangalore start thinking, I should have an office in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, in Chennai, in Coimbatore, in Tirupur, in Tirupati, in Visakhapatnam, in Vijayawada. Let there be 10 offices, let there be 10 partners, and start doing it. Now the question comes of LLP. Moment you do 10 partners or 12 partners or 15 partners, you have the tension that what if that particular partner or that particular another branch partner does something wrong, if he incurs certain liability. And to avoid that, the Institute and the Companies Act has given us the opportunity to convert our firm into LLP. So have limited liability partnership. Your liability will be limited, but you will be in a position to grow. Don't do LLP if you are 2 or 3 partners. I would strongly suggest firm is fine. But once you have multi-locational firm and multi-locational partners, you must convert your firm into LLP. But that's a gradual program. You have to do it gradually. Start immediately doing 2, then 4 partners, and then 5 partners. It will be very interesting for you to appreciate. Those statistics was given by Ramaswamy. Let me give you some unbelievable or undigestible statistics, and you will be shocked. You know, the total members as of now is 3,40,000. When I was president in 2007-8, if you can see the Chartered Accountant Journal of July 2007, the total strength of Institute of Chartered Accountants membership was 14, 15, 16. It's a sweet number, I still remember. 1,41,516. So from 1,40,000 in 2007, we are now 3,40,000 in 2021. So just 1,40,000 from 1949 to 2007. From 1949 to 2007, we are 1,40,000. And from 2007 to 2021, in 14 years, from 1,40,000, we are 3,40,000. 2 lakh chartered accountants. Every year, 15,000 to 18,000 new chartered accountants are coming out. And be very clear, business, trade and commerce don't go in that proportion. Even today, we are fortunate to have only 3,40,000 as against 15 lakh advocates and 20 lakh doctors and 25 lakhs MBAs. We are much better placed than all other professionals, but still competition is growing. And we all have to accept this fact that as compared to the opportunities available of serving trade, commerce and industry, members are growing, and therefore I have to see, I meet with those challenges, I meet with those demands, I meet with their expectations. And what is that? That is the strengthening of your practice. And again, you will be shocked to see the statistics. Out of 3,40,000, we have 1,50,000 who are in practice, 1,90,000 who are not in practice. Now, out of that 1,50,000 and odd, 62,000 are sole proprietors, more than half. And we have 23,000 who are in partnership with 2 to 5. So 62,000 and 23,000 are between 1 and 5. Now just see what are the partnership firm level. 6 to 10 partners, only 1,800 firms. I'm giving you rounded of figures. 11 to 15 partners, only 250 firms in whole India. And 16 to 20 partners, only 65 firms. And 21 to 30 partners, only 27 firms. And 31 to 50 partners, only 13 firms. And above 50 partners, 9 firms. Now, if you whole of India, if we have 3,40,000, 1,50,000 in practice, imagine 85,000 are just 1 or 2 or 5. And we are just 100, 200, 300 in this range of practicing. Now, how can this happen? Just cannot allow one to grow as it is expected to grow. You see the strength of all these big 4 firms which was presented here. In Hyderabad itself, Deloitte is employing more than 20,000 persons in the office. In Gurgaon, they have a big office of 50,000 square feet, single floor, employing 20,000 people. We have a problem of employing 20 chartered accountants in our firm. So that's what is important, that yes, we must think big, grow big, and therefore start acting big with regard to increasing the sphere of your activities. And that's the ground reality. Second most important, as I mentioned, yes, what are the area of practice available to chartered accountants? And I again divide here metro, big cities and small cities. And in each firm, you have to make a combination. You must have the head office in the metro or in the big city, and then branches in metro and other small towns. So I started my practice in Ahmedabad, then I opened branch in Baroda, then in Surat, then I opened in Mumbai and Delhi, and then I went up to Cochin. So that's how you have to plan increasing your branch, increasing your partners, and then at the appropriate time convert into LLP. I'll be very honest, it took almost 2 years for me to convince myself and other partners to convert into LLP. Because once, as we say in Sanskrit, tunde tunde mati binna. So more the partners, more thinking, more discussion, more disagreement, and you have to convince them why LLP is important, how your limited liability is going to take care of your all risk and rewards. And therefore, please try to increase the practice, increase the level of members, increase the level of partners, and in turn grow. That's second most important point. Third most important point is with regard to the division of the practice. One partner should be exclusively on statutory audit. One partner should be on internal audit. One should be exclusive on GST. One should be on direct tax. One should be on transfer pricing. One should be on software and technology. One should be on merger and acquisition. one should be on foreign collaborations, one should be on finance, bank finance, or finance from NBFC. Like that, you must have this multidisciplinary people with you. If you have this, you will have a client, and from any of his demand, any of his question, you will not have to say no. Today, what happened? A client comes to you, you say, I am too good in incorporation of your firm or a company. I'll do your audit, I'll do your GST. But if you want loan, sorry, I don't do bank finance. And if he goes to a CA who is doing bank finance, he will say, I'll get you the loan, but I am not involved in filing of return or doing any audit. Client is not comfortable with this kind of going from one end to another end or pillar to post. He wants all the services under one roof. That is the demand of the day. Moment I opened up the various branches, various places, friends, let me tell you, we got the work of Chroma, we got the work of Reliance, we got the work of Adani. So they want one firm who can take multi-locational audit, multi-locational stock verification, or other work that they want to do. You can get it only and only if you have offices at various places, maybe with networking, as Manoj bhai explained to you in detail, or with your own firm having branches across different places. It's your call. If you're not comfortable with a partnership firm, broadening to 20 partners or 10 partners, do networking. If you are comfortable with networking, do it sincerely. Don't do for limited selfish motive. And that's my point number 4. Why networking is today not successful to the extent we wanted. Absence of trust, lack of confidence, and again, referral practice. I am giving continuously work from Chennai to Coimbatore, but no work is coming from Coimbatore to Chennai. Or Tirupur guy would say, I am giving regular work to Tirupati people. Tirupati is hardly giving me any work. No problem. Wait, have patience. A time would come that the cycle would be reversed. He would be giving you more work than what you had been giving hitherto. So patience is also very important. 1 or 2 years is not sufficient. You have to wait for 3 to 5 years time and see that yes, over a period of time, you develop trust, you develop confidence, and you develop exchange of practice. That would allow you to grow the practice. So increase the strength, open the branches, have more partners, do the LLP. And that would bring me to do division of work. There are concurrent audits, there are bank branch audits, there are statutory audits, there are internal audits, there are stock audits, there are tax audits. Now, friends, let me tell you bluntly and frankly, by virtue of amendment in the Income Tax Act of 10 crore rupees and 2 crore rupees, substantial tax audits have been gone from many chartered accountants. All those who have 95% of the transactions with check, they don't want the audit to be done. Many audits were done because the law required them to do, not they wanted it to be done for their satisfaction. Give them a level of confidence that even if law does not require, let me do your audit. I'll give you the service by which you have full comfort and satisfaction level that everything is fine in your account department. There is no fraud, no mistakes, no complications. That should be the level of service we have to provide. Then again come to GST audit. Today only in the newspaper it has come, no more GST audit from 1st of August. So GST audit also, as you know, the doors have closed. So many chartered accountants are crying. What will happen? I was having 50 audits of GST overnight, all audits have gone. Practice would sunk overnight. For them, this is very important, friends, that yes, don't depend on only one sphere of practice. Don't depend on only one level of expertise. Have multiple people with you with multiple knowledge. I still remember when I joined the council somewhere in 2001 in Chennai, I met a very young guy and I said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm amending. I was not able to understand. He's talking of sweet or he's talking of some chocolate. And he said, no, I am in merger and acquisition. Now in those years, 20 years before he decided to be expert on that. In Ahmedabad, friends, we have chartered accountants who are exclusively on consolidation. All those chartered accountants who have subsidiaries, they don't know consolidation, they go to that CA who will help him to do consolidation. We have chartered accountant in Ahmedabad who does only litigation in GST. And that brings me to tell you, friends, be very clear, be ready. Compliance practice is going to reduce and certification and comfort level practice is going to increase. So tax audits, filing of return, filing of GST return, they are all compliance. Everything is online now. Your presence, your smartness, your intelligence is not able to be demonstrated to any officer, and everything is to be done by writing online. So fifth and second last most important point is, as said in that film, what is the best aspect that is necessary for a chartered accountant to be a successful practicing CA? It is technology, technology, and technology. You have to improve on technology. Deloitte has invented a technology by which the entire practice of doing auditing by vouching will be done away with. A simple software has been introduced with $1 million of expenditure, by which the debit in the account, the amount, the nature of expenditure, everything will be automatically computerized. If it is purchase of bricks, it will go to building account. If it is repairing, it will go to building repair account. If some the other items are purchase of electrical items, it will go automatically to that respective head. So even now, application of mind and verification is going to be reduced. Everything is going to be technology driven. So what all my young friends who are listening now, they should adopt technology. Spend more money on software and technology. Spend more time on learning technology given by the institute or by any other institutes. But learn that. And if you learn that, you will be in a position to develop that practice. And that brings me to the last point which Mr. Ramaswamy requested me to deal with, multidisciplinary firm, MDF. Our institute has taken this bold decision, and we have allowed that chartered accountant can practice not only with chartered accountant, with other professionals. And who are these other professionals? Company secretary, cost accountant, advocate, engineer, architect, actuary. With all these 6, we can do partnership. Point is, we are not at all prepared to do partnership with another CA. And are we now prepared mentally, physically, financially to do partnership with non-CA? My answer should be yes, and strong yes. That if you are not comfortable with another chartered accountants across the South India or across the country, start doing multifarious activities in your own firm. Have one company secretary who will handle all incorporation of LLP and company, private limited, public limited, and all compliances of company law, Companies Act. Have cost accountant who will do complete cost audit and help client to reduce his cost. Have advocates, all litigation is taken care of right up to tribunal and high court by that advocate. Have actuary, so all valuation that is required every year of human resources, manpower, as well as other valuation, share valuation can be done by this actuaries. Have architects. Your client needs to build a new factory. He needs to purchase office. Your architect partner will help in that. So again, under one roof, one client would get all the services. Problem as of now is, we have allowed, it's like in a lighter way, I am ready to get married. Now I need a yes from the girl. And that yes is awaited. Both cost accountant and company secretaries are afraid of. So they have said, we are examining and studying Section 2, because Section 2 of Chartered Accountant Act is same both under Companies Act Section 2 and both under ICAI Act Section 2. They are saying we are examining this and we will come out with guidelines and regulations later on. But we have done it first. I feel personally, my view is, company secretaries and cost accountants are afraid that if my members become partner in chartered accountant firms, there would be hardly anyone left. And there are hardly 4,000 or 5,000 cost accountants who are in practice, hardly about 20,000 or so who are company secretaries in practice. And if they all join the firm of chartered accountants, there would be hardly independent company secretary or cost accountant practicing. And therefore they are worried. But it is their headache, ball is in their court. As of now, the Bar Council prohibits an advocate to become partner with CA firm. So we are trying to pursue them also to allow them to become partner with chartered accountant. In my view, this multidisciplinary firm and partnership will take some time. Maybe by 22-23 or 23-24, we will see Indian firms becoming multidisciplinary. And asking me personally, yes, I will be one of those who will be very happy to take company secretary, cost accountant, and advocate in my firm as partner. And I'll see. I put my first step forward in that. But that is what I said in the beginning, that please decide in your mind and see. Yes, think big. If you think big, you will be able to act big, and if you are able to act big, you will be able to get big. So cake is not limited, sharer are more. Our responsibility, friends, is to see that we grow the cake big. Larger the cake, larger the share, and no problem. Otherwise, as of now, as you see what is happening, and council is also worried that in all audit assignment and other assignments which is done by state and central government, and tenders are floated, many chartered accountants are getting the work by quoting extremely low fee. Why we are scooping down ourselves so low level just to get some work? We should get the work at our demanding fee and not at the low fee that they want to give it to you. That should be the attitude, that should be the approach. And if that is done, friends, I think we will be in a position not only to have pride in our practice, but pleasure in our practice and appropriate reward also in our practice. So wait for multidisciplinary firm, others to get ready. If they are willing to marry with you, you are willing to marry them. It will be a fantastic wedding, giving a huge benefit to all practicing professionals. So that is what is of multidisciplinary firms. So going from again upward to back, multidisciplinary firms, LLP, partnership firms, proprietors. Those who feel, no, I'm happy with my 10, 20, 30 lakhs practice or 20, 25 lakh receipts net gain in a year, fine. Be what you are. But if you want to be proprietor, then my last suggestion is be absolutely expert in one particular area. Have mastery on that. So another big partnership firms would come to you for consultation on that particular GST or merger and acquisition or consolidation, as I told you, or be any tribunal practice or litigation practice. If that mastery is achieved, you can afford to be a proprietor. But otherwise, if you are not that master, you are not that successful, you are not that confident in one particular area, you need to grow larger along with other chartered accountants. I would at the end only say, I would be happy to answer the questions if there are any now or at the end, as Mr. Ramaswamy suggests. But participation and feedback from you is more important for us to share in such platforms. Thank you so much for a wonderful opportunity given to me, Mr. Ramaswamy.
Thank you, sir.
And all from SIRC.
Thank you very much, sir. Wonderful, thought-provoking speech, address you have given to all of us. And I know that you have a very large experience about this, the scaling up the growth of the firm. You are personally involved on many of the matters in our institute. You explained to our chartered accountants how best they can use their all capacity to bring out their own capacity as a very strong. In fact, what rightly you have pointed out about these environmental hazards in our chartered accountancy profession, really the competitors with us are large number of competitors. There is no specific specialization is like our lawyers, like labor law, civil law, criminal law, like that, and the doctors like surgeon or maybe a consultant like that. It is not not developed fully in our profession. Slowly we are developing in our profession with the lesser number of our partnership firms. Some of them are focusing only on the tax practices, some of them are practicing only on forensic audit, some of them now joined for this IBBI, that insolvency professionals. So the firms which are all having a different field of chartered accountants joined together in the form of the firm. Now it is the time for us to convert themselves at least an LLP at the first stage. In this first stage of LLP, they will be able to understand and they can reach the conclusions about their between the partners. They can have a partners meet, they can have a development program, they can have a quality review within ourselves, within the partnership themselves. They can do that, and lot more they can involve themselves with the LLP form of practice. Now this LLP form of practice will give you some sort of a greater guidance for in future you are converting into your multidisciplinary partnership firm once everything settled in the field of MDP. So now we have seen that the technology is taking a forefront in every profession. Our profession is not an exempted one. We are fully in the technology position. If you are not technologically savvy or you are not technologically understanding this, what is happening in these compliances, the chartered account will not be able to practice. Today, this GST, income tax, faceless assessment, faceless appeal, faceless tribunal, so many things are happening, and everywhere, every adjudications are taking place in the faceless manner. And the company law tribunal, National Company Law Tribunal, is now playing a very important role in the mergers and acquisitions, insolvency practice, and all these things. More number of practitioners are going to come in the insolvency practice once they've introduced the individual insolvency. Now only the corporate insolvency process are there, maybe on LLP and on the corporates, the companies are covering under the insolvency proceedings. And there is a number of changes are coming out. Now, very recently, the government has introduced pre-packaged insolvency process for the MSMEs of the corporates. The corporates can go for a one-time settlement. So many things are happening. The Reserve Bank is coming out with a number of measures. How best the foreign direct investments are going to come. FERA, I mean, this the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act has been completely changed. The chartered accountants and the charitable institutions functioning are completely changed. So many things are happening. So the players like company secretaries, cost accountant, advocates, consultant, NBAs are all involved in the investment bankers, many of them involved in the field of finance and accounts. So naturally, we have to face the tough competitions. If you are able to bring a good accounting firm with the multivarious partners with the different discipline within themselves, and definitely that firm will grow big. They can become a multidisciplinary partnership firm, and later on it will be a global partnership firm. We have with us Mr. Santhana Krishnan, one of the pioneer in global accounting firms. PKF, Sridhar and Santhana is known everywhere, and if you go to Middle East, everybody knows Mr. Mr. Santhana Krishnan, and very well because of his very good leadership in bringing the firm in a greater way. So I over to Mr. Santhana Krishnan for his presentation on his address, how best he can guide us for the accounting firms in India can scale up in a global firms. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. A very natural atmosphere for me to talk before 3 presidents. Okay, I've sat with them in the council. I've always listened to them. They used to discipline me. I used to go by that discipline. So therefore, I'm once again happy. I also must tell you that probably this is the 2nd or 3rd occasion I'm coming to the institute after I went out to the council, because I had made up my mind I won't come back and play my game again here. But you know how sweet talkers these presidents are. Mr. Ramaswamy talks so sweet, and also gave me a sweet news that Manoj Bhai and Talati ji will be there. Therefore, I thought about my Ahmedabad sweets and Indore temples and Ramaswamy's benevolence. I decided to come here and talk to all of you. First is, let's make it interesting. I'll be very short. Then I'll request participants to participate. One thing before I start on the importance, I think the world is so beautiful. We all have so much of opportunities. But one thing I think all of us must fight and do something about it is, when is the institute going to deregulate? The whole country is getting deregulated. Even if the person has to wear a pant or a shirt, he has to come to the institute, take its permission. That is ridiculous. You are not deregulating the profession. The whole country is deregulating. Prime Minister talks about deregulation, but we talk about more and more regulation. That's one. I'm not here to raise controversies, but I think the profession has to grow. You need to understand this. Second, how can you apply an ethical practice to an income tax practitioner as you will apply to a person who is signing a balance sheet? Poor chartered accountant goes to the income tax office. That fellow claims a bribe. He's only a carrier for that bribe, and you are taking a disciplinary action on him and saying you can't do this. No, basically what you need to understand is your regulations will have to undergo a major change. I wish Modi becomes the president of the institute if the institute has to change. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to change that easily. Now, regulate a person who signs a balance sheet to any manner, but deregulate the persons who are not involved in the signing of a balance sheet. He is to go to the income tax office and said GST and said deregulate. Give him easier regulation. One size fits all will not work. You have to change. Are we ready to change? I'll give you only 2 quick examples. Network. What is a network? It's a net and a work. Net plus work became network. I will create a net, but where is the work coming to me? So I don't think it is the member's fault that if you're going to create a network and I don't have work. People have formed nets, but there's no work. Which I think all of us must seriously look at it. The three is multidisciplinary firms. Now I'll tell you, we have formed for the purpose of announcement. You know, company secretary has not agreed. I sit on the company secretary institute. Costing. Tell me, where is the value for cost accountants in terms of revenue earning? Who does the cost audit? Cost audit has no relevance in this country today. They are all there at the time when the control was there. You are having a cost audit, company secretary, you know, Bar Council Act has not permitted. Therefore, all this will only create a hope in the minds of people, and chartered accountants will get more frustrated. What we have done as multidisciplinary rule is not worth even the paper in which it is written, because no one can form today. Bar Council has to apply. What will I do with an architect? I can understand if you do it with an advocate, because at least if I'm beaten up, advocates will go and strike in the court. Today, if a chartered accountant is beaten up, nobody is there. And company secretary will also join, both will get beaten up. I think you should allow company advocates to come, and you have to make this into realistic. Network failed. Why? Because we did not visualize the work. Multidisciplinary firms, 2011 we have been talking, we are not doing it. Therefore, all that I want to say is, please do something. If the profession is to grow, my topic is profession has to grow. Now, if the profession has to grow, something has to come from the institute. How would it come? By deregulation. Allow people to do what they want. Today, how is that Infosys came up? Because of the entrepreneurship. Chartered accountants have got great entrepreneurship skills in them because of the regulation. The moment you go and tell a chartered accountant, can you do this? He'll say, no, it can't be done. Why? AS12 won't allow. Somebody says AS12 will allow. He'll say AS17 won't allow. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you real numbers. I'm just giving you. So we are always told why something cannot be done rather than how something can be done. Create entrepreneurship is what is the future of the chartered accountancy profession. What is the problem that we are having today is globalization. Like PwC having 250,000 members, all that is part of the globalization. That is the threat that we are having. Second is, biggest threat comes technology. I remember when I did ISA, we used to sing ISA everywhere. That was to bring chartered accountant back from a conventional way into technology. Have we stopped with that? Have we done something more? For example, robots, drones, blockchain, big data, so many things. The third important factor that none of us have realized, we have not even flagged it in. I want Ramaswamy to at least reply. Working with the next generation, we have not planned. Today, your apprentices who are coming into the profession is not the one that you came or your son came. These fellows, you have to do an interview on a chat. He doesn't want to come and see you in person. Sir, why should I come? Chat with me, sir. I have to do with a chat. He says, what is your loyalty? 3 years, I'll be here. And that we expect normally people to become loyal for 30 years. We're all thinking everything is a marriage. Everybody will have to stay with us. That doesn't work. I hope Manoj Bhai is there and is listening to me. I just want to ensure that Institute must have to come back and tell our members how to work with a new generation. Today's generation was not there 10 years back. When Mr. Ramaswamy was the president, when you were Mr. Talati was the president, they were not there. Today's generation is different. Every firm will have to get on to using and working with the new generation. The way that you conduct an interview. Why? People do a complaint, we don't get articles. Why would articles come if you are not able to live up to the way that they live? Look at your home. Your home is different from what it was. You recognize there, but you don't recognize when it comes to your profession. Then is a sustainability. Sustainability, when I say, is your accounting standard sustainable? We are talking about sustainability reporting. Make your accounting standard. How many accounting standards you will create? And people have nothing else to do except to interpret your accounting standard. I think while we go from left side to right side in extreme, and we don't see the balance, what it happens. Now, I also would like, probably because of the lack of time, I'm not going to be talking on everything. What is that the key challenges which are pointed out? Mr. Malengam also once spoke, but I put it a little differently. Challenges to the profession are your utility. Are you useful to the members? Yeah, either people are there only to give you your job opportunities? No, they are not interested in your well-being of the profession. What is the utility? With a faceless assessment, income tax practice is gone almost. And with the audit, I'll come back to audit. Technology is the risk. Identity is the most important risk. And the image is the most important one. These four ones, utility, technology, identity, and image, are the four challenges that the profession is facing. And look at the opportunities. In 15 years, 75% of the chartered accountants having CPA qualifications will retire. 75% of ACPA people are going to retire in the next 15 years, which is like 10 years, 50,000 people are retiring. I'm asking you, as should you not demand from your presidents, make your qualification global. Why are you not making it global? Why Indian chartered accountants are not recognized? How do we make the profession great? By opening up. Now, yeah, then the other one is, don't forget, we are the second largest accounting body. Now, we can supply CPAs. You have had in Norway, you saw it during the COVID times, everybody became technology savvy and everybody is working out of home. You can do a lot of remote working. US citizens are sitting in India and working, they have not been able to go back. Then for the utility, what we are saying is, the number of accountants are going to come down in the world. Can Indian chartered accountants fit in the bill? Then be a global service provider. Utility 3 will be, can we become, we are very strong in taxation. Why is that? Our people or our institute cannot encourage them to become repository of global taxation. Why do you think this chartered accountant's office, this income tax office in a corner of the state or next to the Institute of Chartered Accountants is the only place which is like a heaven and we will only go there? Why are we not becoming a repository of taxation in the world? Every country has got a different taxation. But you are one of the experts in this country because you are the one who has learned the most complicated tax structure in this world. You are the one who has got the most complicated tax representations, your tax cases, tax laws, everything is so complicated. With such a complicated brain, can't you take on enough number? Mind you, earlier I was mentioning to you that 75% of the chartered accountants are going to retire in ACPA. What a gap it is. Why are you looking only at Coimbatore, Tirupur, Salem, these places? Look far, and you don't have to travel there. With all the remote working, you don't have to travel. Be the top of the mind recall for complex taxation issues. We have the numbers, we have the capability, but there is no one to guide our members. Tell me, if I have passed the most difficult CA examination, no one will doubt my capability. No one will look at the numbers. We have the numbers, we have the capability, but we have nobody to channelize it. Then technology. Be at the end of the cutting technology. Be an example yourself. That's what Sunil Bhai said. Set the trend. Make the technology useful, simple, meaningful to the CEO. Help them get best out of technology. Business leaders do not want technology. They want speed. They want usefulness. Don't think technology is the only thing that they want. They want it to be useful. They want it to be in. They want speed. I'll give you an example. You're all passing bills. That bill passing will go because robots have come. I don't know how many times Institute is conducting programs because I don't have come at all. Take a practical case. A bill passing will go. See, the audit will change in 3 respects. One, you are using bots. Bot or not bot is the slogan now in the world. Do you buy the bot? Bot is the one which will do it. Do you buy or you don't buy? Bot or not bot? Now, if you have that, the second one, all the processes that you are doing a bill passing will all be done by the bots now. So your job is gone. When you do the audit, your first job is gone. The second job, I can send all this and then put them into a machine, make the machine learn, and that is what is machine learning. Machine will learn all the logics that you have put. If it is water, measure it in liters. If it is petrol, measure it in liters. If it is commodity, measure it in weight. All that machine will learn. That is what is machine learning. Then third comes, which is artificial intelligence. You put everything through artificial intelligence, like all your Amazon do it, they will prompt you. Auditor, please check this. Auditor, please check this. Auditor, please check that. Where is your profession? Where are we spending time? In fact, don't ever worry about what will happen to the institute. This institute will go, it will come back in the same form in a newer avatar. That is what is happening today to the whole world. The institute has to change from the bottom. It has to change the foundation on which it is built. I always share the joke. We were always unpredictable. We don't know what questions will come. Therefore, our exams are difficult. That is not the way it can run. You have to become predictable. Now, here, the way that the audit is done is undergoing a change. We are not aware. Then, how will you do an audit? The accounting changes, the audit also will have to change. So, no longer we should worry about bank audit. We've got phenomenal opportunities. Then, I'll take another 5 minutes. I may not have the time to talk fully, but I will finish in 5 so we can take some questions. Then sorry, no, I don't want to, sir. Identity. I said 3 things, First is, I think I mentioned here that the first one would be utility, technology. I've dealt with both, identity, image. Now, how will you make the CA course identify itself with greater personality? Make the CA course into a global course. Mind you, Sri Lanka doesn't recognize your course. Leave alone all other countries. So where are you? What is the point in you talking? You harassed enough number of students in this country. You failed them. That doesn't bring you greatness. It brings you greatness when you are recognized outside. Fight for recognition everywhere. Make the course. Why are we not allowing foreigners to come and take the course? You know why they don't come? They know that they will never pass. Why they will not pass? Not that they don't have knowledge, but you will ask them a question on single entry when single entry itself is not in vogue. You will ask them on government accounts when government itself is not relevant. You will go and ask a question. Therefore, the fellow will fail. Oh, then we will say, presidents will come back and say, our examination is very high standard, very high quality, very difficult to pass the exam. Please bring identity. Do we want to be known as Indian CAs or global accountants? You want to, a global accountant from India is a much better than saying Indian chartered accountant. Indian chartered accountants nobody recognizes. You say global people, because why? The threat is the globalization. Are we gearing to serve global requirements? I just said, why don't you look at taxation? Global taxation. Is Sunil Talati or Ramaswamy or Manoj Fadnis, are they not experts? They will take in 1 minute to learn any country's taxation and start using it. And we need to reach the pinnacle of acceptance. We also need to increase our own cultural literacy, encourage more foreigners to take CA course. And are we not to take more languages? I would be very happy if the institute brings it along in the examination. A 15-minute examination on a language, Japanese, French. We will go backward into regional languages, but we will not go forward into what is needed. Chinese is the most important. They are the biggest investors. Japanese are the biggest. Ahmedabad has got the maximum Japanese investment. I know, Sunil Bhai, I hope you learn Japanese by the time when you come next time to SIRC. Okay, right. Specialized training to be specialized training, can it be not be important? Law, business management. Then the next one, how to make the CA attractive to the best and the brightest of the student community. We have gone and spoken in the colleges. Is that what you want? No. You should take the brightest students. I'll tell you, share with you. I took 10 BComs from the best of the colleges here. My God, they changed the office. They're far better than your apprentices, because your apprentice always scared of the exams. Whereas these people have come from the college, they made the office itself so lively. Then, should we not say in industry as decision makers, how do you improve your image? In move the value chain. Today, you are only counting others' money. You don't count your own money because you don't make. Now, if you have to make your money, how do you do it? Go up the value chain. In business, as decision makers. In practice, as leaders with a vision. In government, as standard setters and regulators. Do we have a clear objective of improving the value of the profession like this? I think we should seriously look at it. Should we not create, but I always wondered why only lawyers become finance ministers. And no one has talked about chartered accountants becoming finance ministers. We are not creating an image that chartered accountants should only be the finance minister. Imagine I would have provided employment opportunity in 27 states to the Minister of State of Finance as well as Finance Minister. So over 100 chartered accountants would have been absorbed, and all your problems would have been solved if they have been in the government. And then the image we have, certainly we have an edge over the software and BPO because we have in English. Make it a sustainable advantage. Learn to speak the language in the future. That is where I feel Mandarin or Japanese, they are the language of the future because they are coming with huge investments. One additional language to this is what we do. I think the future of the profession, world will be a very different place, so will be our world. Human mind cannot perceive exponential growth. You cannot think of the exponential growth. Your minds are set in a different way. Think of an exponential growth. Imagine a time when AI is able to look, digest and master all types of frauds and able to, don't forget the next 10 years, you will have artificial intelligence will predict all kinds of frauds. Then what will you do? I'll do a forensic audit course in the institute with great difficulty. I'll pass. I'll take a certificate from the president, but AI will overtake you. You be ahead of time. You have to be ahead of time. We have to invent the AI now and say what AI can do. None of the chartered accountants, I don't think we are even conducting programs which will go to the future. Do one program only future, 2030. Don't do any program of current year. The profession will come up because the moment institute organizes such programs, everybody will start thinking of 2030 and 25 and 30. At the same time, sharpen our saws and learn whatever we can to stay in our work, to make up our mind to work with robots, RPA, drones, everything is something very important. And of course, I mentioned to you what is most important to work with the next generation of people. They come and we need people to scale up. As Talati ji said, how many people we need? But have you ever thought about how are you going to deal with this generation? Can you deal with your own son today? And go to any place. Buggers on the road who take food from you, they are having smartphones and playing with that. People who take, I've gone there and distributed food. Morning and evening I've gone there. The child has got they hide the smartphone, take the food and go and start seeing the smartphone. That is where the world is moving. Therefore, can we use our institute or can we convert the institute to deal with the next generation? Right. And loyalty, according to that, I read an article, it said loyalty is only 3 years. Communication is chat only. Motivators are salary and ability to pursue passion and job security. This is what is their passion. So I will, I'll stop with this. And the profession has got a great opportunity. I don't think the existing number of chartered accountants are a surplus. We have a huge opportunity coming up. The one way that I would request all of you to do it is look beyond. Do not look within the four walls of your office, 4 walls of your institute, 4 walls within your country. You will serve the institute, you will serve the country, but you will, there is a Tamil saying, Thiregadal Odiyum, Thiruviyam Thedu. So that is what is really important for us. There's a great opportunities. I would request to the past presidents to use their influence to make these announcements, really serious announcements, make it more meaningful. This point of time, I want to remind all of you, your network is remained in the paper. Your multidisciplinary will remain in the paper. If only you activate this and make this, you would have done the profession a great love and great respect for the profession. I thank you very much. I'm very happy that I'm far away from all the 3 presidents, so they don't hit me now. So I'm far away from all of them. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Santhana Krishnan has very generously has addressed about all the issues, and I must compliment him for his open-minded thoughtfulness about the profession and the role and responsibilities of the ICAI. We are all aware of that. Every word from Mr. Santhana Krishnan is always a very, very important word for the growth. What he has mentioned about this technology, I can tell you that information system audit, at that time, there was a praise for this CISA. RBI has never approved that. Because of him, we have created a diploma in system audit. So information system audit has been approved by the RBI as one of the criteria for allotment of an audit at that time. We have all know that technology is very important for the growth of this profession. And second, he has very rightly pointed out changing the role of our institute relating to the new generation. Of course, everywhere new generation is taking over. Very rightly, Mr. Talati has given a statistics about 14, 15, 16 during his period. 1,41,516 chartered accountants grown up to 3 lakhs within 14 years. Imagine about 60 years, we have about 56 years, we have only 1,50,000 chartered accountants. The next 15 years, we have about another 1,50,000 is added. So 3 lakh chartered accountants. See that very rightly as mentioned about this, the creating an image internationally. Internationally, we need to see that how best our accounting profession can be placed in a manner of recognitions. Of course, we got a recognition of mutual recognition agreement with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, CPAs and all of them. It's only a recognitions, but we need to have to focus on our accounting profession should be scaled up towards the absorbing all the technology, especially related to the artificial intelligence. Now the cryptocurrency is another area where there is a lot of our institute has to focus on that. And internationally, there have been many of the institutes already is focusing on that. And OECD, are recognizing the various accounting profession world over. We are also part of that. And we know that the taxation is a complex subject within India as well as outside India. Today, the technology is giving us, there may be an option should be given our chartered accountants to learn of the taxation subject of the different countries. Why not? Let us learn about complete American system of taxation. We can provide service from India. You can definitely, take an opportunity to provide a service, taxation service from India, and there is no need to go and your presence isn't required. So that should be more and more an appropriate manner. We have to work with the other institute or other countries, taxation system, audit system, accounting system, everything. We have to provide an opportunity for our young chartered accountants, our young students to be an option towards them to learn. So he has very categorically mentioned about this, the deregulating the institute. Yes, deregulation is a part of the growth. Deregulation is happening everywhere. Globalization is giving a lot of deregulations. You see that there will be 2 committees constituted to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs relating to us, and I was a part of that. I'm also part of the committee wherein we have completely decriminalized the Companies Act. Now that decriminalization has happened in the Limited Liability Act has been yesterday has been presented. So the decriminalization is giving a comfort for the business community to work. So similarly, we have to do certain areas of deregulations relating to the freedom of networking. Freedom of networking internationally. There are a lot of complexities are there. How best our code of ethics vis-a-vis the code of ethics of the other regulators. I mean, a network situating maybe in other countries. So many things are there. And I must compliment Mr. The Santhana, opened up our mind. I can say that maybe many of our participants are learning from Mr. Santhana Krishnan. So many things are explained to that. You deregulate, and we have to focus many things for ourselves. You have to think that learn more things. Maybe institute giving you a very few areas of learning exercise, but you want to become grow big. You have to learn many things. For example, foreign direct investments are coming from Japan. Maybe on China is a very strong competitor for us. Learning Chinese or Japanese is an opportunity for a chartered accountant to work with them. There are a number of corridors opened in India by the foreigners for industrial development, investment, so many things. Mauritius is the place where the investments are coming by the foreign institutional investors. So we have to think capital market. We have to think about the newer areas. The capital market is opened up for chartered accountants. Many of you are aware of that. There will be a good opportunity for chartered accountants. So the capital market, investors awareness, invest in outside India, so many things are there. So in the initial stage, the degree is with us as a chartered accountant we are getting from our institute. Naturally, we have to grow with our other avenues as well as specializations. That also to be considered by the institute. Friends, it's a full topic covered about the profession, growth of the profession, challenges in the profession, challenges before the institute, changes required in the institute, as well as change of mind by the professionals. I must compliment all our past president, Mr. Sunil Talati and Manoj Fadnis and Santhana Krishnan very rightfully has given all the areas of our understanding and for our growth. And let us take this a very important seminar or webinar, take these matters to the appropriate level, and rightly we have to all our future leaders to explain to them these are the areas in our institute, these are the areas, the expectations from the society, these are the areas that are opening up in a global play. We can become a global player along with the big four. And I must compliment the chairman of the SIRC and the committee, council members of SIRC who have given this opportunity to explain all our mind before the young chartered accountants and as well as the participants. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and other council members. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Chairman, for any questions, we can answer it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have a few questions. Yeah.
Yes.
Can read it out or shall I read it for you, sir?
Yeah, why are our members are reluctant or afraid of forming bigger firms? Is it due to lack of professional humility? Let us have the view of our past president, Talati.
Yeah, I mentioned initially that yes, the basic point lacking is you don't have confidence in you and you don't have confidence on other. Absence of trust and confidence in yourself. It is not professional humility. But if you trust the other and you have confidence in yourself, you can definitely grow. There would be certain difficulties. All people can't be of same mind. There will be exchanges, heat exchanges, and difference of opinion. But you have to act as a leader and bring everything together. If that happens, there cannot be any difficulty to grow big.
Right. Then
Any
you can get
setting a practice chartered account as home come considering work from home.
Is there any challenges in setting up a practice by chartered home come office, considering the work from home scenario at present? If permitted, can multidisciplinary firm adopt the same approach for its office? Please clarify. So it's only open for you if you want to be a proprietor, sit at home, do the home come practice. You want to be a multidisciplinary partnership firm, multidisciplinary farm, everyone can work from home. But how best it can be useful for your client is you have to decide. So the clients may require your presence, less may require your interactions, less your client may require your articles to come visit their offices. So many things are there. It's only the mindset of the charter. The third question, why there is not
Well,
much
third
big
question, third question, Ramaswamy, with your permission, let me tell you why institute is not going to take steps. Institute is doing everything that is possible to be done. You can
Right.
take a horse to the pond, but you can't make him drink. It is simple. Let me share with you when I was president, when I went to France, and when we told them that, instead of Chartered Accountants of France, that we are doing bank audit, we are doing allotment of bank audit, they were shocked. They said, what is this? Once you are a CA, we throw them open in the ocean. They have to learn to swim and cross the ocean. Institute cannot make you big firm. You have to make yourself big. Institute is providing you opportunities. So many seminars on networking. Today's seminar is for that purpose. What you are taking home is important. Learn from what SK has told you, Ramaswamy has told you, Manoj has told you, what I am sharing with you. And start acting on it from tomorrow itself. Sunday morning, start working on it. And then ask me what institute is not doing. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your institute. That's the biggest point.
Yes, sir. So next question is, sir, we studied ethics and professional misconduct, CA final, we cannot make partnership with any other person other than CA, but now to cope up with the emerging trends, now we allowed multidisciplinary firm, even the repeated efforts, we are not able to increase the number of firms significantly. We need to have more awareness among, of course, he is giving us suggestions. Definitely it will be a multidisciplinary partnership, firms are all very important. It will be a growth oriented decisions. Let us work with that. Let us all explain to our all members.
And if you can't pass CA, just become LLB. I mean, no CA firm would take you LLB as a partner. You have to be a shining advocate. If you are a shining advocate, there will be invitation. If you are merely LLB, you will have to stand in a queue, maybe on a cycle or on a scooter.
Exactly. Next question.
Advise on the digital leverage. As I told you, it will take some time. Other institutes are waiting. So unless other bar council permits and other institute permits, we will have to wait and watch. But idea is, we are giving you the platform. Institute is giving you the platform. This is ready. Now take it. It is for all of other professors to jointly take and grow big. See, in all this firm, as Ramaswamy mentioned, 2,80,000 and 3 lakh partners or 7 lakh employees. They are all engineers, architects. They have everybody in their office. Same is what is required to be done by us at Chartered Accountant firm. They are multi-consulting firm. We will allow it on a Chartered Accountant firm.
Okay, this registered valuers and the insolvency professionals, chartered accountants are allowed to carry on. In case it's the non-chartered accountants, of course, that has to be decided by the maybe the multidisciplinary guidelines may be reviewed on that basis. In case if they are not to be.
What is Gate 9C? I don't know. Now the IT portal has launched
these days. GST questions, not self-assessed. Then IT portal, we can leave it. Next question.
See, these are all government problems. Yeah. Is there any thoughts on using a digital platform for application? Yeah, institute has spent 3 crore rupees, and institute is going to come out with number of software which will be given maybe on a token price or free of charge to members for audit, for tax, and for GST. So many software will be available to the members maybe in the next 1 year.
Okay. Why the articles published by Big Four which are directing to their business don't attract the violation of the professional ethics? Is it come under the solicitation of professional work or advertisement? In wherever there is a chartered account involved for this type of an activity, that's all covered under the professional misconduct. In case
we have punished partner of Satyam. We have punished many Big Four firm partners. We have removed them from the, and they are removed as partners. Firm continues. Now we have powers to punish firm. So now they have started working cautiously.
Is there any platform where chartered accountants interested to form network from different places can meet and form a network? We have seen that many times the programs are organized for the networking of the firms individually by many. Of course, all the regional councils can consider for one program for networking each other so that people can join together. They can do they can introduce themselves, they can join. Then there will be an opportunity for them to interact with them, form a network.
Find out appropriate person and do networking. Guidelines are very much there. Ball is in your court. Start, if you are in Chennai, find out a person in Bangalore. Let me share with you, I am very keen to open a branch in Bangalore and in Chennai and in Hyderabad. Anyone listening?
That's true.
Listening and interested, please contact me. I'll be happy to open branch
That's
there.
true. So this way that SIRC
I'm using this opportunity. Yeah, I'm using this opportunity.
SIRC can open
I'm using this opportunity for that.
One program. Those who are interested in network partnership with everywhere, they can register with them. Give an opportunity, let them explain to the firm, they can interact with them. That's all.
Very right. Very right.
It's a very good opportunity for them introduce themselves.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Sir, this is a wonderful program which everyone has enjoyed. I'm getting a positive feedback from many of our members in my mobile I'm getting. And I must be thankful to you, the past president, Mr. Sunil Talati and Manoj Fadnis, as well as Mr. SK. It's a wonderful program. And my sincere thanks to the chairman as well as the regional council members, secretary of the SIRC of ICAI for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much to each one of the speakers for our valuable evening time spent this weekend. It will be a great input and a great take home to each one of the participants to think and act in a better way to strengthen their fame and their practice.
Sir, your guidance, yes. Sir, your guidance is already being implemented in Bangalore branch, sir. They have created a platform where they can network themselves.
That's
you can think, Chairman, sir, we can think of SIRC, sir.
Those who are interested in network, they can do that.
Yes.
So thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time and your dedication. See, you did not have network at your home. You came here, and that shows the energy and the enthusiasm that we have. That's the reason why I spoke to you in the morning, sir. Great. Thank you very much. I thank all the attendees and also the Ramaswamy sir, number one, and Sunil Talati sir and Fadnis sir in absentia, and also SK sir for giving his always special thoughts and very aggressive approaches that are to be taken up. Definitely, it is a very good insight to reach the 2030. Once insight is given, people will start thinking on that. So I thank the chairman also, for coining this topic, that we should think big and think ahead. So that is where this program helps a lot. We will see that such programs are conducted in future also. Thank you, sir. Your guidance is always required for us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Silva.